Today, a customer brought in the Stihl MS 201T chainsaw. They dropped it out of a tree. The gas tank got smashed, and there's quite a big hole right there. So I'm going to be replacing the gas tank on this unit. So here's the new fuel tank assembly. Here's the part number if you guys need that. It's actually going to come with your fuel lines, your tank vent, your cap, and this is actually glued on tank onto this plastic molding, so we have to replace everything here. All right, so I'm gonna start tearing into the saw and show you guys how this is replaced. So let's jump right into the video. First thing I'm gonna do is remove the bar and chain. It just makes it a lot easier to work on the machine without it knocking over stuff. Next, I'm gonna remove the air filter cover, the air filter, the mount that holds on the air filter, and as well as the carburetor. This recoil assembly needs to be replaced. The pull cord broke off the handle, so you'll see that later on in the video. This AV mount needs to be swapped over to the new tank assembly. It is bent, so I'm going to bend it back while it's off. This broken plastic piece is why I'm replacing this handle assembly. I'm going to disconnect this AV mount. The spring needs to be replaced, but it's holding on the handle assembly, so I need to be able to remove this to take the handle off. Remove the 3 screws that hold on the handle cover. If you haven't done one of these handle assemblies before, take lots of videos, lots of pictures, make sure you know where everything's at so you can put it back together right. Sometimes these carburetors stick in the impulse line, just wiggle it back and forth till it pops out. Then you're going to have to disconnect the wiring harness. There's a little push button on that white plastic piece and it'll pop right off. Now push the manifold through the handle assembly so that way you can take it off and run the rest of the wires through so that way it's not pulling on there, and then you can reuse that wire set. Take off this cover that's around the manifold. It just pops right out. Those little plastic nipples, it's locked into those. You need to take this off to access the 4 screws that are underneath to remove the manifold. Go ahead and remove the 4 screws that hold on the manifold so you can take it off. These 2 screws on the bottom are the last pieces that hold on this fuel tank assembly. This tank assembly does stick a little bit. Remember, there is 1 screw that's holding on the ignition coil wire on the other side. Take that off and it should slide out a lot easier. Otherwise, just use a flathead screwdriver to lightly pry it loose. There are a couple components you do need to transfer over. One is going to be the summer-winter shutter, and the other one is going to be the hook that you attach your lanyard to. The new tank assembly snaps in place fairly easy. Secure the tank with the 2 screws on top and the 2 screws on the bottom. Reattach the impulse line. Reattach your manifold boot. Now I got to replace the pull rope on the recoil. This one pulled through the handle and it's pretty ratty, so we're going to cut it out and replace it. This is going to be 3mm rope and 29.5 inches of it. Feed one end through the hole in the rope rotor. Get enough of it out where you can grab onto it with some tweezers. Tie a single knot in the end that's going to go into the rope rotor. That way it clears the top of the rope rotor and does not get stuck on anything. Next, feed your line up through the grommet on the top there so you can connect the handle. I use a double knot on the handle side, that way it doesn't pull through the small holes. Grab a hold of the recoil rope, have your thumb right next to the rotor and wind it up about 6 or 7 times. Once you got tension on there, hold your thumb against the rope rotor, undo all the knots in the line, and then slowly feed it back around the rope rotor just like this. And that's how you replace the pull cord. The coarse screws are going to go on the 2 back holes towards the fuel tank. Those are going to be plastic to plastic. The fine thread screws are going to go on the front, which are going to be plastic into metal. Now install this cover plate. There's 2 little holes on the front and 2 little tabs on the front of the plate. Push those in there and then slide the sides around. To get the spring off, you're going to go counterclockwise. Sometimes they stick a little bit, just keep turning until it pops off, then just unscrew it from the handle assembly. To install your new screw, just put it on there and turn it all the way till it's tight. And do the same thing with this plastic mount, back it off, and then screw it into the new spring. There's a single screw to mount it at the bottom, and then there's a single screw that mounts it to the top handle. And that's it for the tank replacement on a Stihl MS 201T chainsaw. And that is how we replace the fuel tank assembly on a Stihl MS 201T top handle chainsaw. So quite a bit of stuff to take off just to get to this. This particular part only has 4 bolts that hold it on. But the first thing you got to do is you got to take the handlebar off. You got to take all the inner workings out, the wiring harness. You got to disconnect the carburetor. You got to take the manifold off. So lots of things just to get down to this. But once you get down to this, 4 screws. That's all it is. So I'm sure some of you are wondering why I didn't show you guys how to put the handle assembly back into place. That's because I've already got several videos out there doing the same exact handle assembly on the Stihl MS 201T. So if you guys need help with that project, make sure you check out my other videos. I've got very detailed videos on how to reassemble that. So thanks for watching this video. If you guys haven't already, check out the description down below. In the description, I'm going to have my Amazon store. In my Amazon store, I've got tons of tools that I use personally in the shop here. Stuff you can buy through my Amazon affiliate links, and it's a great way to support the channel. As always, I appreciate you guys watching my videos. Make sure you guys subscribe down below and like the video if you haven't already. So thanks for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day.